My video for March the 2nd, 2018 is entitled, "The Establishment is the Enemy of Freedom." I initially titled this, "The Liberal Establishment," but before I got very far into it, I realized that liberal and conservative are meaningless terms when it comes to those who want a strong central government in which human rights are non-existent. Proponents of the corporate government, regardless of the label they choose, are hell-bent on creating a dictatorship in which the so-called elite can continue their demonic ways and subject people all over the world to barbarous treatment. They only have need for useless idiots to serve their whims. The rest are expendable. I'm tired. What will it take for a real awakening? If I knew the answer beyond divine intervention, I'd surely play whatever role I could. I was Secretary of State in the movement to restore the Republic, but the locals I worked with back then are either no longer interested or they have moved to other areas. I'd like to find the ways and means to move forward again. Is that possible? To be very honest with you, I struggle every day to come up with new topics to talk about because I feel like I've exhausted the subjects and there's nothing else. I continue though, and then I've gotten two within the past half hour or so. I've gotten two requests that are people that are in desperate situation and need help. And as I responded to both of them, I am in a financial situation where I basically live on Social Security. And right now I have things that need to be fixed on my car that will cost 1.5 times my Social Security monthly stipend. And I'm trying to figure out how to get some of this work done. Some of it could be critical. The car still runs, but it's not running as good as I'd like it to run. In any case, folks, we live in a world that has been taken over by the most corrupt charlatans imaginable. It's a money game with them, but money not in the sense of they just want money. They use money as the enslavement device. They, for example, took my home away from me so that I would have more expenses put on my plate with limited income that makes my budget tighter. It's only because I don't drink and smoke that I'm able to get by at all, as I've said in other videos. But we need to come together somehow, and we need to understand the situation that we're in. And unfortunately, most people, as I've said in other videos, I'm sure, get their news from the mainstream media, and they don't pay attention at all to alternative media, which is labeled fake news by the real fake news mainstream. The real fake news is CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, even Fox to a great extent, although some people say that that one's the best of the mainstream media. I don't know. Russia Today, I find good, but they're also blacklisted by the mainstream media because it's Russian propaganda. No, they're trying to present us with some of the truth. And the establishment that we are dealing with, again, has an agenda. And the agenda is total control of the planet and reduction of the world population to 500 million people. It's on the Georgia Guidestones. If you don't believe me, you can check it and Google it and find out for yourself. The agenda of this elite establishment is bad for humanity. And you need to understand that. We need to get that not only through our heads, but it needs to reach our heart so that we can be transformed from the inside out. It's only by loving our neighbor as ourselves, which means we first have to be willing to forgive ourselves. And that's a challenge even for me. Not that I've done anything wrong, but that I feel like I failed. I have failed to bring forth the things that I thought were important for humanity. I've done what I think is my best, but I question myself all the time. I face challenges within my own thought patterns. And it's a full moon. This is actually being recorded on the 1st, which is a full moon time, although it'll be the video for the 2nd. And I mean, like last night, I woke up like 2 o'clock in the morning after I'd only been in bed for 4 hours, and I didn't fall asleep right away. And I was so restless, and then I didn't realize it was a full moon till this morning, actually. But that's why I could not get back to sleep, and I've just been so challenged. And I'm not the only one, folks. I know lots of us are being challenged. The energy around the planet is very chaotic right now. And I mean, I understand that people are confused, because confusion is part of the agenda, it seems, of the elite and of whatever God there really is. I don't know that there's a political solution. I really don't think there is. I don't believe Donald Trump is going to be the great liberator that some people seem to have bought into and believe he is. I just don't buy that. I've had people reach out to me that are part of the Republic movement, even here in Florida, but they're not local to me. And I don't trust to take my car very far out of I go to hear my son play about an hour's drive away, and I do that periodically, but not very often. So I'm at wit's end. I'm really at wit's end, trying to figure out what's going on, not just in my life, but for humanity. Because as I've said, I want to see positive changes, and positive changes cannot happen as long as the corporate system is still in place. And the corporate system is a corrupt system. It wasn't meant, the corporations weren't formed to control us. They were formed to serve humanity. But of course, everything's been turned inside out and upside down, and nothing is the way it was intended to be when America was founded, at least not the vision that some of our founders had in mind. And as I said in the previous video, I believe the Bill of Rights is extremely important, especially the 10 and the following 3 amendments. And the 13th Amendment forbid those that had titles of nobility from holding public office. And that yet people with titles of nobility, bar attorneys, hold most public offices. And bankers rule from behind the scenes. So it's all a money game. This is not the world I like living in. But I don't want to die. I want to see the transformation of my own life and the transformation of the whole world that will benefit and lift everyone to a higher level of consciousness, and where we can actually learn to build each other up and cooperate with each other to make the world as beautiful a place as it physically is, but make it that way so that it's spiritually beautiful, so that it's economically beautiful, politically beautiful, that there's just beauty everywhere, because people are finally coming home to the heart. The heart within each of us is pure. And I'm not talking about the physical organ. I'm talking about the heart of our being is pure. We need to find that purity and reclaim it for ourselves. Thank you for listening. Namaste.